G'day guys, welcome back to another episode of U-Boat on board U-606. Today is the 14th of February 1945. Just as we leave the port of Bergen, Norway, we're heading up towards Bear Island, which is just north of Scandinavia, and intelligence suggests that the Nelson was recently spotted in the area. So can we try and find the Nelson? That would be awesome if we can sink her before the end of our campaign. So let's get our search on. Well, we've got eyes on the first convoy here, and immediately we've got ourselves a Liberty, which is going to be a good target for us. Definitely going to register our registered tonnage that we need to sink pretty much for the whole mission. There's plenty of other ships within the convoy as well that we can be taking out. It's a little bit dark and raining right now though. A little bit tricky to actually see. And also sometimes when you're taking solutions like this through the scope, like this little boat here that's in front can kind of trick your eyes when you're trying to take the measurements, especially the distance mainly, sometimes the speed, but most convoys do 7 knots, so we'll just put 7 knots in for now. And just because that ship is going to cause us a problem, that's saying 3.3 Ks. I'm just going to go 3.4. Might be give or take a couple of 100 meters, but shouldn't be too far away from that. So I think 2 torpedoes for this Liberty should hopefully be enough to sink it. And we got those turning left if they do miss, so they'll come back and hopefully hit something else. So tube 1, tube 2, fire away. Well, there we go. Looks like we just got the one hit, unfortunately, on this Liberty, but got a nice big fire on the decks. So we're just going to have to sit here and see how much damage that's actually going to cause. 2 torpedoes normally takes it down fairly quickly. 1 torpedo doesn't look like it's going to be enough here. But we will let the fire do a little bit of work. Hopefully it will cause some more damage for us. We've dived the boat down because we are quite close to some of the other escorts that are around. So we don't want to cause too much of attention to ourselves. Looks like the fire is starting to take control. Certainly helping us out damage wise. Flooding as well. Listing very hard to port there. That's just going to be a case of whether or not it's going to be enough to sink it. We might have to come back for another attack later, but there's plenty more in this convoy that we need to deal with here. So if we just use a bit of time compression, yeah, she is going to go down, I think. Yeah, she's going for sure. Perfect. Now that's going to count quite a lot towards our registered tonnage. I actually think that might be pretty much everything, and we haven't even reached the patrol sector yet, so that's a good start for us. Right, I've just brought the boat back up to the surface, periscope depth. We've got something coming our way, which looks like it's heading right for us. It's a little bit choppy on the water actually, so let's just have a look. And we are facing it with our stern towards this ship that's coming at us. And I've got a tube 5 which is loaded with a T5, so we don't really need to do too much in terms of being accurate with our launch here. So we can kind of just put whatever we want into here. And hopefully if we launch a T5, it'll just kind of go straight at it and hit it in the stern, and then we won't have to worry about it. And that's going to open up the rest of it for us, which means we can get in and deal with the rest of the convoy. So we can pretty much just put anything in, as long as this torpedo heads in the right direction. It'll hopefully blow. It hasn't been warmed up, which is not good, but hopefully we'll still get a strike here. Yeah, there we have it. T5 did its job, and that gives us an opening to go into the convoy again once more. Okay, right, we are back with the convoy, and we have another destroyer, which is not really in the way, but it is a threat for us. If we want to pick apart the rest of the convoy, we need to get rid of this destroyer. It's just one less thing that we're going to have to worry about once we start taking down the other ships. So we'll send a T5 at this destroyer because it's fairly close to us, and hopefully a T5 will find its way to it without going off course and taking down something else. But if it does take down something else, it's not really the end of the world. I'm not exactly sure what type of destroyer it is, so we can pretty much just pick anything that looks like it. Kind of looks like one of these. Nice big mast in the middle, 7 knots, and 4 kilometers away. Tube 5. Hopefully that will be enough to take care of it, and that will open up the rest of the convoy for us to kind of take what we want to take from it. So Tube 5 away. There we go, got a nice good hit there. A little bit of a fire on board as well. Do like the graphics when the snow is falling too. Now she's got a fair bit of damage there, 60%-ish. Bit of flooding too. Is it going to be enough to take her down? Looks to be like it's gonna... She looks like she's done for. Just the flooding that we're waiting for, so we'll use some time compression. She's being a bit stubborn actually, so she's not going down by the looks of things, but we need to get back up with the convoy now because they've started to separate themselves, and yep, she's not moving. So we'll close in on the convoy, we'll place a few markers here, and when we finish doing what we need to do with the convoy, we'll come back. And if she's still sitting there, then we'll just use the deck gun to put her down. Well, here we are, we're back with the convoy, and we have another destroyer which needs to be taken care of. And then that will pretty much give us a full opening to just start dismantling the rest of this convoy. So these destroyers are nice and easy to recognize because of those 3 funnels in the middle. County class destroyer. Perfect. Distance and course. I'm probably going to need to double check the course. Kind of look like they're heading pretty much straight 90, but best to double check. So we've got our compass here, north to south. Yeah, 92, pretty much dead on 90-ish, so we can't be too far wrong. Distance looks like she's fairly far away, but those masts are really huge, so that does help us to get an accurate reading here. 3.1, that's not too bad. I thought it was a bit further than that. Now we'll zoom right in and we'll do a speed check. Let the front of the ship pass through. We'll start the clock. flag at the back and stop the clock there. 2 torpedoes for her, I think should hopefully be enough. Need to start saving the torpedoes for the rest of the convoy. So tube 1 and 2 fire away. There we go, 2 good hits. I thought we were only going to get the 1 hit there. That second torpedo felt like it took a long time for it to come in. We'll just get a damage report here. She is not looking in good shape at all. Straight down to about 10-15% health left, and flooding is happening quite fast. So that is good news for us. We'll use a bit of time compression, see if it's going to go down straight away. She's not looking too good. Front end is very deep in the water there. Let's just hope that that's going to be enough. Well, we will watch for a couple of minutes just to make sure. We don't want to leave unless it's either gone down, or we'll put another mark down. So that'll be 2 destroyers to finish. She's very close to sinking though. But that other destroyer before was also very stubborn. It looks like this one's going to be doing the same. So we'll probably come back and finish this off with the deck gun. That's a shame the torpedoes weren't enough to take that down, unfortunately, but it is what it is, I suppose. Not to worry. Plenty of ships for us to go and take care of though.
Schneller, schneller!
Right, there we go, got rid of a Norwegian Empire here, just with the deck gun. She was kind of floating all by herself up in the north of where we were attacking before, so I didn't really want to let her run away. And it's going to help us, and it counts towards our tally, registered tonnage in the area. So we'll get some credit for that, which is good. But there's plenty more ships for us to go and take care of, and I think hopefully we've got free reign. We could probably use the deck gun for quite a bit of it, and the torpedoes elsewhere. Well, I've just come back here to finish off this destroyer that didn't want to go down. Hopefully it's only going to take a couple of shots for us to do that. But we're floating past her anyway to go and try and catch up to these other ships. So we may as well just pump a couple of rounds into her, and that'll take care of that. And I don't actually think you get much credit for sinking enemy destroyers, but that looks to be enough. So she should be going down now. And once we've done this, we'll stay on the surface, and we'll need to go top speed if we can, just to try and catch up to the other ships that are left in that convoy. And we'll try and take a few more names down before we have to search other ships, and we still have to go and do the amount of kilometers that we need to do in the patrol sector as well. Okay, we're back here to finish off this other destroyer that didn't want to go down as well. Shouldn't be too many rounds to finish this one off. The convoy we were chasing down has just dismantled itself a little bit too much, so we're just going to give up on them, and we're going to go back to the patrol sector and get those kilometers finished. Well, there we go. That destroyer has also gone down now, so we'll send off these messages to the BDU, and there's also a couple of lifeboats here. We may as well take a few passengers. We'll get some credit for that when we return them to the base. And is there anyone else? There is quite a few, yeah. So we'll take as many as it will let us take. It's a full boat of captives. So they'll become prisoners of war, I assume, when we get back to port. But we need to go and finish the patrol, and we can tidy up the map here as well. And hopefully we still need to get on the search to find the Nelson. Report says that she was in the area. Didn't come across anything on the way, but hopefully we'll find her on the way back, and we'll stay in the area just to have a good look. Well, we have eyes on a very big convoy here, and it's not the Nelson, but it's the next best thing. We have an aircraft carrier here. I have looked through the convoy just to see if the Nelson was in here, because that would be the ideal target. But she's not in here as far as I can see, and I'm not just going to leave a enemy aircraft carrier to float free in the area. So we're definitely going to try our best to take her down. She's a big target, and we don't get much credit from the BDU for it, but credit myself for taking aircraft carriers. I think they're much more fun to take down than your standard Empires and your cargo ships. Just let them close in a little bit, because they are quite far away at the moment, or at least our target ship is. We don't want this Empire going right in front of it when we choose to take our shot. We want to make sure that we hit with all torpedoes here. So we should be pretty good to take a shot here, I think. Double check our distance though. Yeah, she's just about in range. By the time the torpedoes get there, should be within that 5 kilometer threshold there. But I might actually double check her speed just to make sure. 7 knots might not be 7 knots. Okay, 7 knots. So let's fire away. Okay, it looks like we only got the 2 hits there, and she's straight away not in a good place right now. So big fire on the deck, huge amounts of damage. The bow of the ship is already sinking. That's great news for us. Cargo overboard. Tower's fallen over. Yep, she is going straight down to the bottom. So good job for us there. I think we'll leave it there and we'll head back to port. Well, it was a little bit unfortunate that we couldn't find the Nelson. We were running too low on torpedoes towards the end to actually even encounter her if we did. And there's no way we can deck gun with the Nelson. But here's a list of all the stuff that we did sink. So 12.5 days at sea. Yeah, you don't really get credited much for taking down destroyers and stuff in terms of tonnage. So really only registered the Liberty and the Empire that we did sink. So they're not really that great. Well, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed the episode. We'll be back soon with another one. We want to try and get as many in before the end of the war as possible. So stay tuned for that. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And I shall see you in the next episode. Thanks for watching.